Hey guys, I'm about to publish the next release for SaasRock Core and SaasRock Enterprise. This is about cookie consent and built-in analytics. I have written this blog post that I'll use as a guide. I have this tab, which is the core version on the 3000 port, and on this tab, the enterprise version. So if you're seeing green as the theme is core and purple for enterprise. So the first thing is the cookie consent banner and cookie settings. So I'm going to delete all the cookies here, and it will show this banner that you can customize. This is called cookie banner, cookie consent banner, and this is basically asking for the user consent to use all the cookies, but the user can click on the cookie settings to open up a model, and here are all the details of the cookies that you set. For example, we have required, functional, analytics, and advertising cookies, and on the required section we have this cookie for the session for storing the ID, and Google requires this cookie for the Google reCAPTCHA in case you're using reCAPTCHA, of course. And for example, on the advertisement cookies, we have all these that are set for the YouTube videos that I have embedded. Let's take a look at the deployed URL. We have this video right here that by default it doesn't show here because the user has not granted the advertisement cookie. So let's try first that one. So now the video should appear, and on the cookies we should have the YouTube cookies that we are displaying for the user. These cookies can be set on the application cookies file. You need to specify all the cookies that you are using and the category. I used this tool, this website, to look up for all the cookies that my site uses. And cookie categories, you can add your custom cookie categories here, and then add the cookie details for each one of them. So I'm going to test another cookie. I want to use this functional cookie, which is for the Crisp chat client. I will select it and I will click allow selected. Now, if the user granted that cookie, I'll have this Crisp chat. So you can see that it really works nicely, and it requires for the user to set it. We can navigate, and the banner will show up at the bottom until the user clicks accept or deny. And I'll show you the analytics enterprise feature. The main reason I'm building this analytics, at least at the minimal version, is that I can start developing the affiliates and referrals program, so I can use referrers like my affiliate right here and compensate and reward these affiliates. But let's try this this feature. So by default we don't have set any cookie, so the user needs to accept all the cookies, or at least accept this analytics cookie, which is the SaasRock analytics. You can change this name, and it expires in 1 month and is of type HTTPS. I believe this is wrong. This should be HTTP, but you can change this. Where is it? Cookies, application cookies, SaasRock expires 1 month, and you can change this here. So I'm going to accept it. Well, first I want to show you that I don't have any page view tracking yet. Well, maybe I do, but because I did a few tests before. I'm going to delete this new feature. This analytics feature is not for core, because core will not have affiliates, and you can use, I don't know, plausible analytics, simple analytics, Google Analytics, and use the cookie consent to use. Actually, I'm using on this core the consent to set the Google Tag Manager, the Google Tag ID. But anyway, back on the enterprise analytics feature, we have this. Well, I need to reset the database. Give me a sec. Okay, now I should have the permission to access the analytics view. So this is the default route, which is the overview where we have the unique visitors, page views, events, and live visitors, which is basically on the last 60 seconds page views. And this chart is under construction. I don't know what library to use yet. And let's try this. So if I accepted cookies, now I will be tracked. Let's try this. Let's go to the dashboard on a new tab. So now we have one unique visitor, 2 page views, and 1 live visitor. So I don't want this route to be tracked, the admin analytics. So we can go to the settings, and actually, why is this not working? Well, I'll fix it, but it was working before. So you can add ignored pages, like if you don't want the admin side to be tracked, you can add it like this. Or let's say the pricing. Of course, you don't want to not track the pricing section, but it's just an example. Or the contact page, or the privacy policy. Oh, by the way, after the user has granted consent for the cookies, they can change their settings on the privacy policy page by clicking this button, cookie settings. And you have, let's deny all, and we have only the required. This is disabled. And another thing that was added is this route, which is only for debugging, where we have the route, the root data. Here, for example, we have the user session and the cookies. The required cookie, where this is not the cookies itself themselves. It's the cookie consent. For example, let's right now the functional is not allowed. So let's open up the cookie consent and allow the functional. So the root data now has the allowed cookie for the functional cookie. So cookies. So this is just for testing. You don't need this on the production deployment, of course. Okay, back to the analytics feature. So we have these top sources, which by default is no referrer. We can track, let's say, the pricing page, and the referrer, let's say, Facebook. So what's happening? Maybe I deleted the cookies. Oh yeah, I don't have the analytics consent. So I won't refresh the page. Let's see if it works. Yeah, so we have the referrer here. So I don't know if this is going to work in production, but I'll test this. It should grab the referrer from the request headers. And the countries are not set because I need to use an API for that. For example, IP, where you pass the IP and it gives you the country and the city. But I don't store that on the database because it will break the GDPR compliance rules. And the devices here, it should show the desktop, tablet, and mobile devices. And honestly, I don't know why my Mac shows like Darwin, but I guess I can change this based on the architecture. And what else can I show you? We should have live visitors. Let's try open up an incognito tab on contact and accept the cookies. So we have one live visitor and one page view for the contact. We can go to that to the page views. Let's open up another incognito tab and let's go to the blog, accept the cookies, and refresh the page a few times. So now we should have 2 unique visitors, I believe. Yep. And a lot of blog page views. And these, I have these tabs which are pages and routes, because on Remix you have this can be different. Let me show you on one example for the blog. So the page should be this one, events and webhooks, but the route is called different, like this, blog slug. So it doesn't show up the variable, but on the pages it does. By the way, I need to fix this. I should truncate this. And what else? I believe that's it. Oh well, but finally the events. I have this. I have the events for only these 2 buttons. Let's toggle and let's change the language. So if we refresh, we have these 2 actions, toggle and set locale. So that's it for this release. Of course, this is the minimal version. Expect a lot of bugs and problems because this is my first time working with UTM tags, and you can read more about this on my blog at alexandro.dev, where I talk about how and what do I store. And yeah, let me know if you like this release and send me a DM on Discord or Twitter if you want. Thanks.